This is the Amflow PL Carbon Pro, probably the most widely talked about electric mountain bike so far. And this isn't just any old e-bike, this is my first ever e-bike. I spent nearly 6 years of my life designing award-winning electric mountain bikes, and although I've tested most of the drive systems in some capacity, I always felt like the technology wasn't quite ready to meet my specific needs. That is, until the Avinox drive system was released. On paper at least, this is the system that fits my riding the best, so I couldn't say no when Amflow offered to send me a bike. Let's get into it. Now, as always, some disclosure. This video is brought to you by Amflow. They sent me this PL Carbon Pro in exchange for a handful of videos. This is explicitly not a review, and as such there will be no Dale scale. This is a sponsored product showcase and a first ride impressions video that Amflow will have seen a preview of. However, everything said in this video is my own opinion, as it always has been and always will be on my channel. After my videos are up, I get to keep or sell this bike, and despite the opportunity cost of doing so, I'm actually leaning toward keeping it around. As you're about to see, it really is that fun. Now, I'm a bit late to the party since my bike was stuck for nearly a month at the CBSA. A lot of creators have already done an excellent job at outlining some of the intricacies of this bike, including Skills with Phil, Vancan, and Jeff Kendall-Weed, so I encourage you to watch their videos as well if you'd like to learn more about this e-bike. However, I do think it's important to quickly summarize what this bike is and who it's for before focusing on my first ride experience. The PL Carbon Pro is Amflow's first ever product. It's a full-powered Class 1 e-bike that has finally arrived in North America for the summer of 2025. With 160 mil of travel up front, 150 mil of travel out back, and a clear Category 4 classification, the Amflow targets an all-mountain or trail intended use. It ships with 29-inch wheels in all sizes, with the ability to convert to a 27.5 rear with the flip of a chip. The PL Carbon Pro is the higher-end model, coming with Fox factory suspension, wireless SRAM EXO transmission, Magura MT7 Pro brakes, and an assortment of Amflow-branded carbon parts. It retails for $15,000 Canadian through the RIBD network, or $10,200 American direct-to-consumer with an 800 watt-hour battery. Amflow also offers a lower-end PL Carbon model with Fox performance suspension and a wired SRAM GX drivetrain, along with various aluminum components for $10,200 Canadian or $7,500 American, also with an 800 watt-hour battery. Amflow also makes a 600 watt-hour battery, although it appears to not yet be available in the North American market. What makes the Amflow special though is the Avinox drive system. This system consists of a motor, battery, display, app, controllers, and charger, and it is in my opinion the best system on the market today, and I'm far from the only one saying that. The M1 motor can produce up to 1000 watts of peak power and 105 Newton meters of peak torque, with an official continuous power rating of 250 watts. It is worth clarifying that my Canadian Amflow is software locked to comply with Class 1 32 km/h maximum assistance speeds. I share Seth's concerns when it comes to Class 3 45 km/h e-bikes and the potential land access issues that might arise in the future, so I'm glad to see that Amflow has software locked their Canadian bikes to Class 1, despite having what appears to be identical hardware to those in legally more relaxed markets. Power is one thing, but control is another, and the traction control of the Avinox system is simply on another level, as you'll see a bit in today's video. The 800 watt-hour battery is quite light, weighing in at only 3.7 kilograms, and can be fast charged from 0 to 75% in just 96 minutes. I verified this number twice myself, and this represents an impressive peak charging power of 12 amps. The two wireless Bluetooth controllers are unobtrusive and very convenient. By default, the left controller toggles your current assistance level between off, walk, auto, eco, trail, boost, and turbo. The right controller switches which page the display is on, providing you with more than enough customizable metrics to satisfy even the nerdiest among us. The Avinox system is compatible with 2, 1, or 0 controllers as desired. The full-color OLED touchscreen display is bright and clear while riding, even in direct sunlight. The display or the Avinox app allows for in-depth adjustments to be made to each assistance level, along with being able to customize the data on every page. My favorite metric to display is the live power meter reading, not for the motor output, but from the rider input. This is a phenomenal training tool that I'm somewhat surprised hasn't been discussed by more people already. Training with a power meter is the single most effective thing you can do for your fitness, and I'd argue it's even better than using a heart rate monitor. It deserves to be noted that this bike must be paired to the app within the first 100 kilometers of riding, a sticking point of many products these days that I am also not a fan of, and one that I hope that Amflow changes in the future. The Avinox app is by far the most comprehensive that I've used so far. It's just a shame that it's a mandatory requirement. The Avinox system also has a handful of welcome security features too, including Pin to Ride, the ability to set up your phone as a proximity key, a built-in alarm, and remote monitoring with the installation of a SIM card. The most talked about aspect of the Avinox system, however, and by extension the Amflow, is just how light it is. The PL Carbon Pro is a very well-spec'd bike, although I did change a handful of components prior to riding mine. I swapped to a 1-up handlebar and grip setup for comfort, a 5-dev titanium stem for style, double down tires for durability, and 5-dev pedals for safety. I requested a size medium a few times, but I ended up receiving a size large, which will have a small impact on the complete weight of the bike. Unfortunately, I was unable to fit a standard bottle and cage in this size large frame, and I'm not quite ready to drop $75 on a proprietary bottle with a magnet glued onto it. I also installed some extremely interesting brakes after the first 2 rides that will surely have their own dedicated review soon enough. A huge thanks to Hope for reaching out directly and sending these beauties over. So as pictured, ready to ride, my Amflow weighs in at 21.46 kilograms or 47.69 freedoms. This is very light for a full powered e-bike with an 800 watt-hour battery and components that will actually survive North Shore riding. But that's enough talking from me. It's time to see just how well these on-paper specs translate to on-trail performance. Hope you enjoy. All right, first ride on the Amflow PL Carbon Pro. We're riding with Nick from Van Camp today, also on his Amflow. This is an insane amount of power. This is crazy. Like, I'm having to process this as a downhill trail. That's very impressive. It's quite natural feeling too. I am like not even breathing. This is nuts. Alright, I'm sold. That's insane. It's super intuitive. The power delivery is very, very smooth and natural feeling. Other than being, you know, like 3 times as powerful as I am. Really very easy to get used to. I think on single track climbs like this, I'd probably tune it down. But on Burke or on the road somewhere, man, this thing would be insane. Curious to see how it descends. All right. Descending on the Amflow PL Carbon Pro. Oh my goodness. My original plan for the first ride was to go do an absolutely crazy ride, like 100% to 0%, just see how many meters I can get out of it. But as you may or may not be able to tell, the air quality here is very bad right now. And I'm actually really happy about the e-bike for this, because that means I can save my lungs. Oh, that is soft. Descending feels very stable. Very, very stable. Nick, I agree with your MT7 review. These brakes will be coming off as soon as the review is done. That's for sure. This will be fun. I haven't ridden this trail in quite a while, but I'd say I know it pretty well. So yeah, I don't know if I mentioned this in the intro at all, but this is my first ever e-bike that I've actually owned, despite designing e-bikes, award-winning e-bikes at that, for about 5.5 years. And I'm really excited about this Avinox motor because it's been kind of the talk of the town for a good 1.5 years since this bike came out. And from what I can tell, it's definitely more intuitive than the other motors I've used from TQ, Bosch, Shimano. Is there another one? Broza. Whew. Seems to be a competent e-bike too, like mountain bike. But honestly, I think I'm more excited about this as a tool to get me places I wouldn't otherwise want to go on a normal bike, be that like steep roads or bushwhacking unknown terrain. Like, this will get you there. And for commuting, it's pretty sweet too. Yeah, the other thing that I really liked about the Amflow, or the Avinox system in particular, is the lightweight aspect of it. Because I'm a pretty light guy. I weigh about 63-ish kilograms. And having a light bike is pretty important to me because, you know, as a percentage of the system, I am quite small. And this bike is 47. Ooh, I'm not doing that on the first lap. Yeah, Nick. This bike's about 47 pounds as ridden today.
which for a full power e-bike with an 800 watt-hour battery, that is very respectable. I would be curious about the 600 watt-hour though, because there's a chance I don't actually need the 800. We'll see. We'll have to do some torture tests and see how much the 800 will, how far it'll get me. Wow. Okay. After a quick discussion, Nick and I have decided that the warm-up lap was good, and we're gonna go straight to the top of the mountain and go ride full. Because why not when it's this easy and this accessible? All right, climb trail complete. And now onto the worst road that I know of. Let's see how the Amflow handles it. Okay, first steep part that is quite loose, but not as bad as the crux, and this is kind of cracked. This is nuts. And I'm in trail mode. Not in turbo, not in boost. This is trail. Like, I'm literally having to spot this loose, maybe 15-20% climb as a downhill. That's how far ahead I'm looking. Yeah, this is a different sport. That's one of the most ridiculous experiences I've had on two wheels. And the hard part of the climb is actually still to come. Usually this is like a 50-50 whether I clean it on a normal bike, and it's like max heart rate, max. And this is very much not that. Yeah, that's insane. This is like a hard climb. I can tell you without a word of a lie, this is the most smiling I've done on two wheels in a long time. That is nuts. Now, is this gonna replace non-electric bikes for me? Absolutely not, no way. But this is a lot of fun. The traction control is actually really impressive too. And there's kind of minimal like skidding or burning out. Even on like really loose stuff like this. Like you see Nick's tire, there's not much coming out from it. Yeah, I think the traction control is one of the more impressive things, eh? It's off. I did stop. I could not skid. All right, unintended, but I get to show off walk mode here. Hold the down button. It says walk mode. And now it'll help me get up. It won't help me get up this log, actually. Will it? Let's see. The coolest part about this walk mode, though, is that it has like a hill stop. So it just stays. It doesn't roll back. Let's see if this... Oh, yeah! Walk mode actually gets up that, too, eh? Okay. I do love this trail. Thanks, Steve.
That's not right.
Don't know which one's original. We'll get Steve to clarify. Yeah, it descends very confidently. I think Amflow claims this is like a trail or all mountain bike, which they are very clear about. This is not an enduro bike, this is not a downhill bike. And as a trail all mountain bike, man, this thing descends actually very well. I think I would prefer an enduro bike, and I hope that Amflow has something in the works for that. I'm sure they do. But this is, yeah, very capable. Oh, my fingers be hurting. I like that line, Nick. That was good. Yep. That's awesome. Woo! Oh. Oh. Yeah, told you it was double black. I think this log doesn't have many years left. No, we figured full pull wasn't enough, and since we have e-bikes. And the smoke really isn't that bad, we decided to go up for another lap down. Couples to eastbound. Thank you, Steve, for all the work on this trail. It's really good right now. Oh. That one's hard to get to, but I wonder if it's faster because the exit is just so good. Oh yeah, that way. Yeah, I think eastbound has gone from one of my least favorite trails to maybe not a favorite, but actually a really fun trail now. Woo. Don't know why it shifted there. Good line, Nick. Very good. You got both of those good lines. Yeah, this bike is very, very good. The drive system in particular is noteworthy among the industry. I wish I had a medium to try, because this is the large. It is slightly bigger than I would pick on my own. But it is manageable. I think it's a size I'd be willing to keep. Heard there's a new line here. Oh yeah, there is. Look at that. Gonna swap out the brakes and then see how it feels. Wow. That's a different trail almost. Oh no, here we go. Original Randy's. Yeah, excited to do some e-bike specific adventures on loops or trails that I wouldn't particularly enjoy riding on a normal bike. We'll see how this thing can handle it. But yeah, thanks to Amflow obviously for sending this bike over, and thanks for watching.